In today's video, I am going to be testing out all the cotton yarn that I could get my hands on. About a month ago, I asked y'all on Instagram, what cotton yarns should I try? Y'all gave me so many good options, and that's what we're doing. I do want to point out that I'm actually going to do several different projects, but I want it to be as scientific as possible. So certain cottons that are all like kind of the same type of cotton, I'll be making the same thing with. Let's go through the yarn and sort it out. Oh, my zipper! That's where you went. Remember when I had made that cute little fanny pack and I'm like, I'll add a zipper. Here it is. I'll put it in my bag that I'm gonna bring back in the house. Okay, so first off, I do want to point out this yarn here. I don't think I'm gonna make this part of the test, called Caron Cotton Cakes, and this is in hot sand. It is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. I feel like the best cotton yarns are a blend of something else and it makes it a little bit lighter, whereas if it's just pure cotton, it's a little bit heavier. It's funny though, I got this one at the Cambridge Fiber. It does say Caron on it, but there's no like actual label. It was $20 for two. This one here, I kind of want to make a top-down raglan top, and I've used Caron cakes to make them before. I've made like 3 of them. I have so much more yarn to make them out of, but I'm like, hey, let's add cotton to the mix. So I bought this one too. This one I don't think I'm gonna include in this video just because this one here, I really want it to be its own video because I want to make a top with that, okay? So that I'm just gonna put to the side. I bought it because I was suggested it and I saw the colors and I'm like, yes, please. So I have these cottons here. These ones here I'm going to be making dishcloths out of. And one of them is sugar and cream. And y'all know how much I'm like not a fan of sugar and cream, but for y'all, I will test it out. And all these cottons feel like sugar and cream. So I have the original Lily sugar and cream. Then I have the Premier Home cotton. Then I have this one here, which is Bernat Handcrafter cotton. And then the last one I have down here is the Loops and Thread Classic cotton. And they all feel the same, and they're all different price ranges, so I don't remember what I paid for them, but I probably should have written them down. Okay, so we have those. The other cottons that I'm going to be using is this one here is Premier Cotton Fair. This one here I feel like didn't come in a ton of colors, so I ended up just getting an off-white. I mean, I think there was a really pretty purple and I wish I would have gotten it, but at the time there was just so many colors to pick from like all the other yarn that I needed to buy that I kind of just got overwhelmed. It is a 2 fine, which I think might be a little bit thinner than the DK. I'm also going to be making this into a bandana, I believe. It is Bernat Softy cotton, and this is a light 3. So these are lighter yarns. This one's really soft. It's really pretty. I love the colors. It kind of reminds me of like fall. I don't know. I just, also today was such a beautiful day that I got to wear a long sleeve top. This one's just the Lions brand 24/7 cotton. Again, I'll be showing close-ups and stuff when I'm actually working on it. I don't know if it's this color that I'm going to use. I'm probably going to swap it out for the pink that I have. I just don't know where it is. This is it's 100% pure DK cotton by James C. Brett. I have made 2 shirts out of it. It's kind of a heavier yarn. It is 100% cotton. I'm also going to add this one. This is the Kobo Lions brand cotton yarn. It is 51% cotton and 49% rayon from Bamboo, and I just finished a vest with it, and I'm a fan of this yarn. So I'm also gonna make a bandana out of this one. These are a very soft cotton, and I really like them. The 2 colors that I have right now, I know I have a big yellow one, and I think I'm gonna get the yellow one to do something with. I have Friends Cotton, 8 out of 8. That's very important, which I've learned. And then I have the Suds Crafting cotton. What about that cotton? Where's that cotton? I've gotten my cotton bucket. I am all over this. I thought I had a good, what is this? I thought I had a good idea of what I was doing, and clearly I don't. This is the James C. Brett yarn that I want to do, this nice pink yarn, which, oh, this would like literally match what I'm wearing right now. This is the Suds Yellow that I want to use instead of the green. And then the other one that I want to do is this one here. Oh, you know what? What if I did this one? Okay. This is the Halloween Friends 8 out of 4. Okay, now I have all the yarn. So I've also found another color that I wasn't expecting to do, but we're gonna do it because I completely forgot about it. It is the Friends of Cotton. This is the Halloween one, and it is 8 out of 4 print. This is very important. I think there's like 8 out of 4, 8 out of 6, and 8 out of 8. 8 out of 8 is the thicker cotton, and 8 out of 4 is like the thinnest. I don't know if there's an 8 out of 2. I've never got it, and I don't think I ever will. But the 8 out of 4 is a very, 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 very thin cotton, which I had to learn the hard way because I didn't know. But anyways, this is very thin weight yarn. So this yarn, and like this yarn is pretty much all the same weight. So these are all going to be making like a bandana, and then that way I can like compare these. That is all the cotton. If I forgot anything, I'll introduce it later on, but I've got so many projects. Okay, let's count how many projects I need to make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 projects. I'm like, this week I'll just take it easy. Nope, I'm making 12 things. So now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna start making these projects, and I'll be talking about what yarn I'm using, the color, what's it made out of, all that kind of stuff, what I like better, what is like pretty much the same, and what I won't use anymore. But other than that, let's start making these 12 projects. If you're new to my channel and you like crocheting and yarn and thrifting and the 80s and like all the retro stuff that I love, why not hit the subscribe button? Hobie Halloween Friends of Cotton 8 out of 4, and it's very fine yarn. The color of this one is just called 30. They don't have the name of it on here. They usually have it on the website. It is 100% cotton. You use a 3 to 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. I'm going to be using 3.5 because I used a 3.5 for this. For this project here, I've decided to do what I want. I was going to follow this pattern here, but I really just didn't want to. Also, I think that with how busy this yarn is, I don't really think the pattern would have even been visible. All I'm doing is I'm actually using the same dimensions as this one. I am doing a row of double crochets. Then I'm doing a filet crochet row. So I'm doing a double crochet, a chain one, a skip one, and then a double crochet. And then the next row, I'm doing double crochets, and then again with the little chains. I think this looks pretty good. Honestly, right now it kind of looks like a film reel. I don't know. That's pretty neat. I thought it was done, and then I remembered, oh right, I have to do the ties in order to make this bandana a bandana. I'm so tired. For the last bandana with the thin yarn, I'm going to be using the Premier Cotton Fair. It is a fine weight 2 yarn. It is 52% cotton and 48% acrylic. Definitely feel like when it's a little bit cotton, a little bit something else, it always crochets so nicely. So I'm really excited to start this project. And it's telling me to use a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, but I'm actually going to be using a size down. I'm going to be using the 3.5, just like I did for the other 2 small bandanas. Also, it is very, very thin. I would not use a 4.5. I mean, I guess it depends on what I'm making. Also, the pattern that I'm going to be using is this one here. I found a bunch of these on Pinterest. I just typed in filet crochet bandana patterns. A ton of them have popped up. It looks pretty simple. This one's a little different though, because we're starting down here and then working our way up, which is kind of neat. You can make it as wide or not as wide as you want. And so this is where I'm starting. It looks pretty simple. It just looks like double crochets, chains, and slip stitches. This is how far I got done last night with this. I really just was super tired, so I gave up. But now I'm at the part where I need to do the chains, and I do want to do a scallop border because I think the scallop border will just look nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the chain and then come back and then scallop border, chain, and then slip stitch back. This is how this video is gonna go down. Instead of me reviewing all of them at the end, because who knows, y'all might forget, I know I would, of what I did. So what's gonna happen is I'm going to do the projects with a certain type of yarn, and then I'm going to review that yarn, and then I'm gonna move on to the next projects, etc., etc. I'm gonna do the lightest weight yarn up to the chunkiest weight yarn. First off, we have these bandanas. They were all made with a 3.5mm crochet hook. They are all basically a light DK fine yarn. This one here says it's a DK weight yarn, but it is more on the finer side. I have written down the prices and I have written down how much you get in each one of these yarns, and then that way y'all know what you're kind of getting yourself into if you want to buy them and how much you'll have to spend. Editing Michelle here. I just wanted to let y'all know that the prices that I'm going to mention in this video are in Canadian. Also, prices will vary depending on if there's a sale on that yarn or the store that I bought it from. I thought I would just clarify that. First off is this one here. This is the Barocco Modern DK Cotton. It is 60% cotton and 40% rayon. I have to say that my favorite cotton yarn is a blend of two different yarns. I find that they crochet the nicest and they are the softest. So I made this about a month or two ago, but I really wanted to add this into the video because it is a cotton yarn that I really like. This one here was the most expensive, being at $15.99 for a skein of yarn, which is pretty pricey. Although I do have to say, I think I got them on sale. I think they were on sale for like $10 at the time. And then the next one is this one here. This yarn here was priced at $7.99, which is pretty much half price as this one. This is the Premier Cotton yarn. I think this crocheted beautifully. I actually think it's like just as soft as the expensive one. It crocheted just as nicely as the expensive one. Actually, I think I liked how it crocheted a little bit better because this one here, the way that the yarn was made, I don't know if you really can see it, but it does that thing where it kind of like, it wants to like split. Like it does like the splitting kind of thing. This one did not split at all. It was actually a really nice yarn to crochet with. The cheapest out of all of them was the Hobie yarn for $2. And I don't know if it's $2 on sale or not, but I think Hobie always has the sale. I also do have to say that Hobie, although it is the cheapest version, for most of us, we have to order it online. So the shipping could vary into the price factor. Where I live, I can't go to a store and like touch the yarn and, you know, really figure out how I like it or not. It is also the less soft of the three. It's still very soft though. Like I think it is very, very soft. Okay, it ain't no sugar and cream. And I do like it, especially for like the price of $2. So you get less yarn in this, but again, for like $2, I think that's still a pretty good price. You know, cute. It almost looks like a camo, but there's orange in it. If you bought two of these, you get more yarn than you would get in the modern DK yarn from Barocco. Crocheted beautifully. It did not split or anything like that. It was a very nice crochet yarn to use. Out of the three lightweight DK fine yarn, I have to say my favorite one is this one here, the Premier Cotton Fair. This is my favorite one. I think the price point is amazing and you get a lot of yarn out of this. Also, at the very end, after going through all the yarns, I'll tell you what my favorite one to use and what my least favorite one is. So I'm gonna actually make these into coasters, which I need. And I'm gonna be using this one here. It is called the Solid Granny Square. And so it just looks like this. I actually used this on my lamp that I did. And I really like this stitch. I like how simple it is. I'm just gonna do these. I know it's nothing big, but again, I'm just trying to test out the yarn. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. I don't know if this is the right label for this, because I took all the labels off, but it is the brand. I just don't know if it's the right color, so like the shades probably will be different. The yarn that I'm gonna be using now is called, it's 100% pure DK cotton by James C. Brett. They put the ticket price right on top of the label. It is 100% cotton. There is 215 meters. That is 234 yards. It does want me to use a 4mm crochet hook. I think the color is just called pink or baby pink or something pink. Oh, and then you get 100 grams. So I just made this one. I just love this granny square. It's so simple. I know I say everything's cute, but it really is. I think I'm just gonna make one pink one and one orange one. I'd like to make a full set. I think for that, I would want to like mix them up, like do pink, orange, and like put these two colors together because I love that. I think just like for the purpose of this video, just gonna do one of each, you know, just to get an idea. And now I'm going to make the orange one. It is the Lions brand 24/7 cotton. You get 100 grams, 186 yards, 170 meters. It wants you to use a 4mm crochet hook. The color of this one is called Tangerine. Cup coasters are now done. These ones here are a DK cotton yarn. Was supposed to use a 4mm crochet hook, but I think I accidentally used a 3.5 because I forgot what hook was on what hook. Because, you know, my hooks are interchangeable. So I think I started this one in a 4 and then ended it in a 3.5. This one I did the whole thing in a 3.5 and it should have been done in a 4. Honestly, that 0.5 didn't really make a difference. So yeah, it's okay. These two here I feel like are probably the most similar together. They are actually both the same price point at $8.99. Actually, the Lions brand yarn I got at Central Pearl was $6.99, but the listing price on Mary Maxim's website was $8.99. Although they are the same price, you get more yarn out of this one. Feeling them, this one was so soft. This one, not so soft. Like I have done filet crochet projects with this one. Remember that little green duck I did? And when it's like that, it's a very comfortable wearable. Like I kind of want to make a whole vest with this yarn, but when it's more like this, it is giving more scrubby. Like it's not very soft, and I don't know if that's because it's mercerized. I don't know what I'm saying. Whereas this cotton yarn here, although it does get a little heavy because I have made 2 shirts with it, it is softer. I think that if I was going to make a project with them, I probably would pick this one. I also feel like with this yarn here, you get a lot more colors. Out of these two, this one is definitely my favorite. Today at Crochet Club, I worked on this. This is just the Kobo yarn, which I'll show you in a minute. I really didn't think y'all needed to see me crochet with Kobo yarn again because I made those 2 duck vest videos with this exact same yarn. It's really pretty. I love this color, and I ended up doing a cute little scallop edge. So this yarn here is Kobo by Lion brand. You know what? I've been saying Lions brand with an S. It's not. You get 100 grams, 232 yards, and 212 meters. It is 51% cotton and 49% rayon from bamboo. I just finished this one, and now I'm going to work on the exact same one, but in this yarn. I feel like this yarn is very similar to this. This wants me to use a 4mm hook, and I believe this wants me to use a 4mm hook. I was originally going to use this one and compare it to that red yarn that I have, but unfortunately, this is a lot thicker. I even did the whole chain and it's way too big. So I feel like this yarn and the Kobo yarn are very similar. This is the yarn that I'm going to be using for the next bandana, called Bernat Softy Cotton. It is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. Again, you got some cotton and you got another fiber. I feel like this one's going to crochet really nice. Get 120 grams. That is 254 yards, 232 meters. The color I'm using is called Golden Haze. I thought this was really pretty, and I'm really excited to see how it's going to crochet like this bandana. I have to say that the yarn is kind of similar to this one, but I think this one is just ever so slightly thinner. And also just like feeling these, the weight of them is a little bit more thicker. The Bernat Softy yarn and the Kobo yarn are both priced at $6.99. The Bernat Softy, which is this one, and I love how the colors of this turned out. It's so pretty. And this one here, the Kobo yarn, softness, I have to say the Kobo is softer. This one, it is also very soft, but I personally like the Kobo yarn better. The same price of $6.99. You get a little bit more of this than that. Personally, I have to say I love the Kobo yarn just a little bit better. I will be using the really soft worsted weight cotton yarn. The first one I'm going to use is I'm going to use the Estelle Suds 200. This actually comes in two sizes. It's either this gigantic one or it's the one that's kind of like this size. I have a lot of this, so I'm like, let's use this. So this is 100% cotton. You get 200 grams, that's 296 meters and 320 yards. They want you to use a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, and this one also wants you to use a 4.5. So I'm gonna say what they're suggesting. Personally, I would use a 5 for this, but if they're telling me to use a 4.5, we're gonna use a 4.5. For these cup cozies, I'm just doing like the rib stitch and then you like fold it over. I like these because there's like a lot of stretch in them. Here's my cup cozy from before. I used to make them like this. I don't remember how I did it. I don't want it to be too stretched. 4 or 5 more rows. 5 minutes later. Okay, I think that's good. Stitch this together. So then that's how it works, and then you just slip on the ice cap. So now I'm just going to make the same thing, but I'm going to use this cotton. The Friends Cotton 8 out of 8. It is 100% cotton. The brand is Hobie. You get 50 grams, and that is 75 meters and 82 yards. This color is, I don't know, it just has the number. This is the thickest Friends cotton, 8 out of 8. And the other one I have, which is, I think there's I don't know if there's a 2 out of 8, but the thinnest one I have is a 4 out of 8. The yellow one here is the Estelle Suds, which is this, and it is in the larger one. Estelle Suds actually does come in 2 sizes. This one here is the 10.99 one, whereas the smaller Estelle Suds, it is actually $2.89, and you get 47 meters, which is 80 yards. So this one is just the souped up version of the little one. And this is what it turned out. This here is so soft. Like the Estelle Suds, I love it so much. I believe the Estelle Suds is 100% cotton. For being 100% cotton, it is very, very soft. I did make my friend Lily her bag, this one here, the sunflower bag. I loved crocheting with it. It's like, I know people say it's like crocheting with butter. It really is. It is just a very soft crochet, although it is on the heavier side. So if you were going to use this and make yourself like a full cardigan, which I have done with this yarn here, which is a little bit lighter, it will be very, very heavy. Just letting y'all know. For like smaller bag projects and little projects like this, it's a very nice yarn to use. And then the other yarn I use to make the little cup cozies is this one here. This is the Hobie Friends of Cotton 8 out of 8. I did do the same width. I think I chained 12. But as you can tell, this one here, the Hobie yarn is just ever so slightly smaller than this one. I used the same hook. My tension was the same. I made this one right after I made this one, but the Hobie yarn is just a little bit thinner weight of yarn, even though it says it's the same weight of yarn as the Suds. Now the Hobie one is only $2. For an extra 89 cents, you could get the smaller version of the Suds, but you're gonna be losing like 1 meter of yardage. You know, you can go and probably buy this more in person, whereas the Hobie one, you'll have to order it online. Well, I mean, where I am, you gotta order it online. Personally, they both feel the same, and the Hobie yarn is just ever so slightly lighter than this, but the softness factor is the same. And I think for the Hobie one, you get a lot more colors than the Suds. You're curious of what the Friends of Cotton feels like. It's like this Estelle Suds. It's just a little bit thinner, but I did make a sweater out of this, or a cardigan out of this, a few years ago. It is a very heavy sweater. I think I actually might have it in the camper. It's actually this sweater right here. This yarn is actually leftover yarn from this project that I did, I think it was 2022 or 2023 I did this. It's so heavy. It is a very heavy sweater. It is a very soft sweater. Like if you want to make this into like a blanket, it would be the perfect blanket because it would be almost like a weighted blanket and it would be super, super soft. I love the colors. You get so many great colors with it, but it is a heavier cotton yarn. If I had to pick the winner out of these two, I'm gonna say the Suds, just because it's easier for me to get to. I don't have to order it online, but for colors and pricing, probably the Hobie yarn. and I am just going to be making simple single crochet square dishcloths. I know maybe I should use a different stitch or do something different, but I mean, I don't want to get too intricate. I looked up online and the first thing that came up was single crochet, so that's what we're gonna do. Also, I feel like I could feel them better and I'll be able to test them better if they're just a simple single crochet instead of anything like fancy. I think I'm gonna start with this one because this looks like the least amount. This one here is the Bernat Handcrafter, 42.5 grams, and that's 71 yards and 65 meters. The color that I got here is called Poppy. So we're gonna start off with this one, and I'm just going to make a simple single crochet square, and then we'll go from there. First square is done. I did 24 single crochets across, and then I did 27 rows up, and then the last row I just did a slip stitch. And then I think the next one I'm gonna do is the loops and threads. I forgot to say what this yarn was before I started crocheting with it, so it's a lot smaller. It is Loops and Thread Classic Cotton. You get 95 yards, that's 86 meters, and 56.7 grams. This one here is a medium weight yarn. It wants you to use a 5mm crochet hook, and it is 100% cotton. The yarn color of this is called Jungle Ombre. Now, I'm pretty sure that they did have like an orange version of this, but because I already bought the orange version in the Bernat, I wanted to change things up, and so I went with this green. This is the second one, and this is the Loops and Thread. They're the same size. So the next one I'm going to be using is Premier Home Cotton. It is 96 yards, 88 meters, and 55 grams. It's 85% recycled cotton and 15% polyester. And it actually wants me to use a 5.5mm hook, but I'm going to use a 5. First thing I found kind of weird is that I found like a string, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll pull it out, and it just keeps going. Okay. I was gonna put it on my yarn spinner, but I guess I don't have to. I've never seen that before. Also, my friend Danny made me these cute little stitch markers, and she also made me a matching pair of earrings. They're from a bracelet that she got. They are really adorable. Like, you see this type of bead? This is the type of bead that like I want my plates and bowls to look like, but super, super cute. So thank you again, Danny, for making these for me. I absolutely love them. They're so cute, and they're definitely my style. This one is now done. I don't know if any of y'all see what I'm seeing, but I feel like I'm seeing like the colors are going like up like this, and then over here, they're kind of going to the side. I don't really know what happened there. I think I accidentally lost a stitch here. I accidentally decreased. And did that throw it off? I don't know. It's very interesting. And now I'm going to work on the last one, which is going to be the Sugar and Cream. Now here's the thing. I want to love this brand. I really want to love this yarn. I love the font. Okay, I love a good font. I love the name of it. I love the colors. I've used it in the past, and I'm just not the biggest fan of it. You get 70.9 grams. That's 120 yards and 109 meters. So you get definitely more in this one. It is a worsted weight. I'm going to be using a 5mm crochet hook, and this is 100% cotton, and the color is called Soft Ecru. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now for the last yarn review, and that is the dishcloths, because I got some words for these. The thickness of these 4 yarns are pretty much the exact same thickness as the suds. It's just the suds are like a 10 out of 10 softness, or these are like a 2 out of 10 softness. So that's why I didn't include this one in here, because there'd be no competition. This one is the clear winner, and that's why I prepared it with the Friends, because it is a very similar type of yarn and texture of yarn. Onto these. I actually wrote notes. I wrote a softness scale out of 10 and an ease of crochet scale out of 10. We're gonna go with the softest yarn to the least softest yarn. And I think y'all probably will know what the least softest yarn is. The softest yarn out of this type of cotton is this one here. Also, like, look at the pattern that it made. So this one here is the Premier Home Cotton. This price is $3.99. It is the softer of the yarns, still not as soft as the Suds cotton yarn, but it is pretty soft, and this is 100% cotton. I think I used a 5mm crochet hook to crochet all of these with. So they are more of like a medium worsted weight yarn. There is a lot of stretch to it, and it is very, very soft. The second softest, I think, is this one here. This one here is the Bernat Handy Crafter yarn, and this one is also priced at $3.99. Get a little bit less of this yarn than you would of this one here, the Premier. You get a little bit more yarn out of. Softness wise, it's not bad. This one hits it out of the ballpark with softness. Like, this is the softest cotton out of the four, but I have to say this one is definitely the second softest. I also really like how the pattern went. It almost looks like tiger stripes. There's a little bit of a stretch, but it is very, very stiff. The third softest yarn would be this one here, and this is the Loops and Thread yarn, also priced at $3.99. Softness and thickness, these two here, the Loops and Thread and the Bernat, almost feel exactly the same. They almost even have the same type of pattern going on. They're the same price. You get roughly the same amount of yarn, and honestly, I think it just depends on what colors you like better from the brands, but either one of these, they crocheted pretty much the exact same. Now the last one, the most expensive one at $4.99, $1 more, is the Sugar and Cream Cotton yarn. When I was crocheting with this, I wanted to be done. I didn't want to crochet with it anymore, but I had to finish the square. For like $1 more, you do get about 20 more meters of it, so you do get a little bit more, and $4.99 is not a bad price for this type of yarn. On my TikTok and Instagram, I did put a little video saying, like, well, while I was crocheting this, saying I don't like crocheting with it, and then asking y'all, what do you crochet with it if you like it? It's either you love it or you hate it. There's no really in between, but a lot of people say that they make wearables out of this, and I'm very skeptical about that. Yeah, you hear the stiffness of this, but people swear that once they put it in their washing machine and they wash it like normal clothing, it drastically changes the feeling of the yarn, and it is very soft. And now I kind of want to test that out. So I'm thinking about making a really cute granny square vest, because I've figured out how to make a vest that I really like. So I kind of want to make a granny square vest and put it in the washing machine and see how it fits after. So I'll probably do like a before what it's like, and then an after it's washed with the Sugar and Cream yarn. Even though I am not a fan of the Sugar and Cream yarn, I gotta test it out for science. There's no science involved. It's just me figuring it out if it works or not. Overall, I think that for this type of cotton yarn, this one here is my favorite, and this one is my least favorite. All right, so let's go over my rating system. So when it comes to, why does I sound like Maury? When it comes to the softness, this one here gets an 8 out of 10. This one here gets a 6 out of 10 for softness, and this one here gets a 5 out of 10 for softness. This one gets a 2 out of 10. And then when it comes to ease of crocheting, this one also gets an 8 out of 10. This one gets a 6 out of 10. This one gets a 5 out of 10. And this one gets a 3 out of 10. It was easier to crochet than it is soft. I only did really ratings for this one because all of the other ones were really easy to crochet with, and they were very soft. I think these ones needed the ratings the most. Since you've seen me review all the yarns, it's time to go over my least favorite and favorite yarn. I'm gonna start off with the least favorite yarn because I think y'all will know what that is, and that is the Sugar and Cream. Okay, even though yes, I want to make a vest out of this, it is still my least favorite cotton yarn to crochet with. As my favorite yarn, it is definitely a tie between these two, okay? They both have different qualities. I think if I was to do a more medium worsted weight project, I would definitely pick the Kobo yarn. It is soft, it is very nice to crochet with, and I have made a vest out of it, and it just drapes and fits perfectly, and I really, really liked this yarn. Now, if I was going to do something that asked me to do more of a fine weight yarn, the Premier Cotton Fair yarn. I loved crocheting with this. I didn't think I would get as much yarn as I did. I still have a ton of yarn left over from this. Also love how it's in this, because then I can just stick it on my yarn spinner. It's not going to roll over the bed. I loved crocheting with it. It was such a nice yarn to crochet with, and although it's very similar to this one, the price point is half the price and you get more yarn than you would out of this one. So if you're looking for a nice light DK weight yarn, I really like this. That is my yarn review. I tried to review as many cotton yarns as I could. I really wanted to pick cotton yarns that were more easily accessible to people. I think the one that would be a little bit more difficult to get, and not even that more difficult, it's just you'd have to order it online, would be the Hobie yarn. But hopefully my review on the Hobie cotton yarn would give you kind of an idea of what you would be purchasing if you decided to order it online. But you know, you got to pay, like, there's like shipping, and sometimes you have to pay duties. I think one time in the entire time of me ordering Hobie, I did have to pay duties on it, and I think it was like less than $30, but it was only one time, and I've ordered from Hobie probably 10 times at this point. Like, that also has to factor in. But personally, I just like going into a store and feeling the yarn and like seeing it in person. You know, hopefully this review on cotton yarn will help y'all out there if you want to do projects with cotton yarn and what cotton yarn might work better for you. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.